Today is December the 16th. Today, we'll read John's letters to the churches of Asia Minor. Reading through the Bible in a year today, I'd like you to read Revelation chapters 1 through 3. It's the first section of the book of Revelation, the section that takes place on earth. Beginning in chapter 4, John enters heaven and has visions of the future. In the book of Revelation, after an opening greeting, John identifies the recipients of this vision as the churches that exist in Asia Minor. He names 7 of them, 7 cities in which a church had been planted. And at the end of the first chapter, he enters into a description of the one who's sending these letters to the church. The description fits the apocalyptic view of Jesus. He's seen as a man standing in the middle of the lampstands, eyes blazing like fire, his clothes, his hair white as snow, his feet blazing as if they were a furnace, 7 stars in his right hand, a sharp 2-edged sword coming from his mouth. And then we have 7 letters. Letters to the church in Ephesus, in Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, and Laodicea. Now, each letter follows a definite formula. In each letter, there is an introduction. We're just going to use the church at Ephesus. Write this letter to the angel of the church at Ephesus. This is the message from the one who holds the 7 stars in his right hand, the one who walks among the 7 gold lampstands. Each introduction goes back to the chapter 1 description of the Lord Jesus. Then the content of the letter. In each letter, God says, I know you, here to the church at Ephesus. I know all the things you do. I've seen your hard work and your patient endurance. I know you don't tolerate evil people. He goes on to talk about the things that they do. But then in verse 4, he says, but I have this complaint against you. You don't love me or each other as you did at first. He goes on in each letter, says, I know you. I've seen you. I've been watching. And I'm pleased. But one church, he has no buts. Everything he says about that church is good. One church, he has nothing good to say about. Everything is a but. When he finishes chapter 2, verse 7, anyone with ears to hear must listen to the Spirit and understand what he's saying to the churches. And in the first 3 churches, he says, to everyone who is victorious, I will give. To the church at Ephesus, I'll give fruit from the tree of life in the paradise of God. That's the pattern that he follows in all of the churches. Now, that raises the question, what is John really writing about? Over the ages, there have been 3 major views of who John was writing to. The first view is simply that those churches were the churches present in John's day. John was literally writing to the church at Ephesus, the church at Smyrna, the church at Pergamum. And while we can learn from what John is writing to them about, the primary content of that letter is for them in their specific time. The second and the third views all see the 7 churches as representative of something else. One view says these are churches that always exist. They're churches of all times. We have among us the church at Ephesus. We have among us the church at Smyrna. Our task is to figure out which church we are, hear what John is saying, and correct what he points out. The final view says these churches represent phases that the church goes through, dispensations, if you would. For a period of time, the church universal is like the church at Ephesus. Then the church universal becomes like the church of Smyrna, and so on to the end. Frankly, I don't know. It's hard for me to see the specific situation that John is writing about and not think that John was indeed writing to churches of his own day. But somehow it does apply to us as well. Enjoy your reading. Enjoy trying to figure out for yourself what those churches talk about. No matter what, we can see something from the message of each church as a message to us as well. Like, follow, and subscribe to this devotional on whatever platform you use to listen to it. Email your questions to us at questions@becomehope.com. Enjoy this weekend in the church of your choice.